What's going on, YouTube, and welcome to Our Life, Beginnings and Always. This is a really fascinating little visual novel that is actually free on Steam, at least for the base game. There are some other romance stories you can download, but in this game, you get to customize everything about your character. So your pronouns, your appearance, your personality, all of it. And I really wanted to play this game as a fun little something for Pride Month since it's June. I'm just going to skip through the tutorial really quick and I will pick back up once the main game has set in. Alrighty, so I got a sense of how the game is played. I'm just going to design my little person here. Gonna give him a little peach. We are really, really pale. Not that pale. Maybe. We'll go with peachy. Gonna make a little version of me. Oh, I kind of want to have purple eyes. Let's see, for hair. Got something long and floofy. Oh, I do like the two-tones, but I wouldn't start with two-tone. Go with that. Yeah, that looks like me. My eyes are blue, but I really want to go with purple eyes. And we're starting out with she pronouns. I did not, so this game does come with the option to download a really big voice pack, which has like all of the names in the game of like supporters and stuff.
Jamie.
I actually don't want to do the voice name because I want to have this be my YouTube name. Rukari, last name Cat. Sure, let's go with that. Alrighty. Do I got a birthmark? Don't really have birthmarks. Do want little rosy cheeks and some freckles. My hand size, medium. And yeah, I got some glasses on me. Like these guys. Alrighty. Birthmarks. Do I have any? I do have one on my back. Do I have freckles on my arms? I like shirts, pants, skirts. I'll basically wear anything. I do hate wearing watches for some reason. I'm actually not a big hat person either. Alrighty, I think I'm done. This is me. I got an achievement. My life. Summer in Sunset Bird was a special time of year. Your usual sleepy town began to bustle. It was a popular tourist destination, with people coming from all over to enjoy the beach, the weather, and the relaxation that came with both. The smell of the ocean, crisp and salty, hung in the air, bringing 3 whole months of schoolless vacation with it. Vacation? Vacation. During the summer, your moms didn't like you to wander too far outside of your neighborhood, so you knew the area pretty well. That included the people. Families came and went from Sunset Bird, but they mostly stayed and did what your mom called putting down roots. They built businesses, they got to know each other, and they definitely said hello to the nice young kids who waved when passing their stores. Going for a walk around town mostly meant that the familiar, friendly residents waved or asked how your family was, or most often just said hello. Alrighty. You didn't really get why they always had to say hi. They saw you every day, but you nodded back at them anyways. You ended up saying hi to a lot of different people, since most of the tourists that came and went every summer were the same ones. You were too anxious to say hi. Yeah, you were too anxious to say hi back to most of the other residents that greeted you, but they all knew you well enough to expect that. They still smiled at you anyway, and that made you feel a little more comfortable. But today there was a man sitting on the curb outside your house. He was sitting with his head in his hands, his whole body slumped over, and you wondered if he was even a real person or a statue that had magically sprung up from the ground overnight. Whoever or whatever he was, you had never seen him before. One thing about knowing everyone in Sunset Bird was that people who you didn't recognize really stood out. It was rare for tourists to venture into the residential district, as your moms called it. So for you, not knowing who a total stranger was set off a lot of red flags. Your moms had a talk with you and your big sister Lizzie about this kind of situation before. You hadn't exactly been listening at the time. You think it could be okay to talk to new people? No. They mentioned that some people aren't good to talk to, but other types of people can help you even if you don't know them. You remember that it's okay to run away if you feel uncomfortable. You don't have to worry about being polite then. I don't know if I could run away. Some people aren't good to talk to, but there are people who can help you if you know them. And that's a good thing in life. You know, if you... cops, police, well... sometimes. Depends on the it in general depends on the person. You weren't sure about this man yet. Still, you felt a bit scared knowing that he was blocking the way to your front door. I would probably be a bit scared that he was blocking the way to my front door. You slowed down, your mind racing for ideas on how to get past him unseen, but it was too late to escape. There was a split second where your eyes met, and you took in a shaky breath, your eyes darting to the sky, pretending to stare at a bird who was hovering nearby. Hey! His voice startled you and made you jump, but you still didn't look at him. The bird landed on top of a nearby gate post, and its black feathers ruffled against the gentle breeze. Trying to keep your eyes on it was tough, especially when the man stood up and started to make his way toward you. Not wanting to seem too approachable, you folded your arms and stared. Still unsure about him, but willing to be friendly, you offered the stranger a smile. Not smiling. Your whole body was frozen in place as he approached. Yeah, I would deer in headlights it. Do you live around here? What's your name? You looked the man up and down, taking in his tan skin and relaxed appearance. At least his clothes were relaxed. The way he was acting wasn't. He had sharks on his shorts and a stingray tattoo, and you wondered if he was obsessed with the ocean or something. While you made your assessment, he looked at you expectantly, waiting for an answer to his question. I would be the idiot who introduced myself. It's not just I live right there. My name is Rukari. Great. Nice to meet you, Rukari. He gave you a broad smile, relief settling on his face. Uh-oh. Stranger danger! Stranger danger! He reached into his pocket and pulled out a clean $20 bill. It crinkled in his hand as he held it up to you. Even more confused than before, you looked back at him. Well, could you do me a favor? Nothing bad. Sorry, I should have let me start over. He cleared his throat and stood up straighter. Yeah, you kind of look like... You're not looking too good right now, my guy. From where you were standing, it just made him look creepier. I have a son. His name is Cove, who's about your age. You chewed on the inside of your cheek. This guy was definitely obsessed with water. He wasn't the only person like that in Sunset Bird. Cove's dad. We moved in across the street, see? He gestured toward the house that had been empty for a year, his watch catching the late afternoon sunlight and reflecting off the walls. The gigantic for sale sign was finally gone. You must be Rukari Cat, right? I met your moms earlier, and they told me you were 8, just like him, so, oh god, my parents are Mrs. Cat. My parents are Mrs. Cat. Why did I do this? He shook the $20 bill to bring it back to your attention, a hopeful smile tilting his lips at the corners. Can you try to be friends with the boy? Just give it a chance, and you can keep this. He's a good kid. You'll like him. But you've got to keep it a secret, too, okay? It wouldn't be friendly to say his dad sent you. I mean, yeah, if you're all alone and your dad's trying to pay people to be your friend, that's kind of sad. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that. What do you say? Want to make a deal? I'll just hang out with the kid. I don't need money. I don't want to be paid for that. It's too weird. He deflated enough to notice, but not completely. Are you sure? It won't be so bad. Even if it's just for the summer, that'd be enough. That only made this sound more strange to you. Why does it lasting for the summer matter? When it was clear his initial strategy wasn't going to fly, he tucked the bill into a back pocket and changed the request. I get it. You don't have to. Would you be comfortable with he and I coming over for a normal visit? No money involved. Yeah, I want to meet him. His smile got bigger again. His eyes crinkled at the sides. I'll bring him by tomorrow. I wanted him to meet and greet with the neighbors today, but... well, I don't know where he's gotten off to. He laughed when he said that, but with the way his face looked, you thought he actually wanted to cry. If you see him, can you tell him to come on home? He's got a pink cast and glasses. You can't miss it. Okay. This definitely wasn't the normal way kids made friends. You knew that, but you were still going to help. The man smiled and reached out to pat you on the head. Paused before doing so, then pulled his hand away instead. Your moms are already checking around for me. Such a thoughtful group you are. I better go look. Now I better go look too. Can't put everyone else to work while I keep sitting here. I thought he might come back and... that's not important. I have to go. Thanks again, Rukari, so much. He jogged off down the street without another word. You decide to check the hills behind your house. Step 1. First sight. The chirping of crickets in the tall grass greeted you, quiet and familiar. From the top of the hill, you could see the ocean. As you walked, you listened to the crash of the waves on the shore and the seagulls squawking as they settled down for the night. You've always loved the ocean. It was so much fun. Oh, this is me. You love to hear stories about the sea, about the merfolk and the sea serpents you imagined living far beneath the waves. Sometimes you could almost convince yourself you had seen the flash of a shiny mermaid's tail in the distance. You took in a deep breath. You wanted to try to relax and couldn't. You weren't sure what, but something told you that you weren't alone, so you glanced around. There was a boy sitting at the top of one hill, almost completely hidden within the long grass and white flowers surrounding him. His head was buried in his knees, staring ahead by himself. For whatever reason, probably just that he wasn't paying attention, he hadn't noticed you yet. You watched him a minute longer, feeling a bit like you'd found a deer in the wild. Though deer didn't have... green hair. But this new boy did. You watched as it fluttered softly around his face in the breeze. After a few more seconds, you took a step forward, then another. And then he glanced your way. His aquamarine eyes reflected the light of the moon. You stopped, raising a hand to acknowledge him and show you weren't scary. Are you lost? With a jump, he started to his feet, his hands balling into fists at his sides. He didn't say anything, just stared at you in a strange way. He'd been crying. There were traces of tears on his cheeks and his knees, soaking the hem of his shorts, and his eyes were still shining with a few more. You'd obviously caught him off guard. His pink cast seemed to glow in the twilight, though when he caught you staring at it, he hid his arm behind his back. Something the man earlier had said stuck out to you. Cove? Eyes wide, he studied you. How'd you know that? I'm all-knowing! That's a lie. Tell the truth. Okay, your dad told me who you were. Oh. So, is this your hill? He gestured with his uninjured arm to the patch of grass surrounding you, his face falling at the prospect. I can leave if it is. Nope, not my hill. I'm gonna shake my head. While doing so, you also picked out a strand of lint on your leg. What a weird question to ask someone. Oh. He sat back down with a thump, resting his chin on his knees again. Curious about the strange new boy with the odd dad, you sat on the patch of grass next to him. The pure white flowers that covered this hill rocked back and forth gently as the stars twinkled above. The way they dotted the sky made them seem like flowers too. The night wind was cool as it traveled over the ocean and up the hill, chasing away the heat from the afternoon sun. Why are you here? A quiet hiccup escaped Cove as you asked the question. Almost like they'd never stopped, his tears started up again with a vengeance. My parents. They don't want to live together with me anymore. The tears fell fast and heavy over his flushed cheeks, sticking in his dark lashes. My mom made my dad leave, and he took me with him, and now we have a house here, and I want to go home. The outburst took you off guard. By the time he was done wailing, Cove's chest was heaving with exhaustion. He sniffled and removed his glasses, wiping at his eyes with the back of his hand before he put them back on again. I hate this place. I want my real life back. I want my mom. I'm sorry. This is a rough situation. He slipped his hands underneath his glasses and pressed his fingers against his eyelids. Cove wound himself up again for another long crying fit. You felt bad for him, being forced to come here with no choice. You couldn't imagine what it would feel like to live with only one of your moms, but it must be pretty hard. But from way off in the distance, you heard your parents. Rukari! Cove! Kids, where did you go? Cove looked at you, tears still clinging to his cheeks. Don't tell them we're here. I don't want to go back to that house. I want to go home. It'll be okay. You were struck by a sudden need to reassure Cove. It's not gonna be all fun, but isn't he your family too? Yeah, I guess. Then you can count on him when you really, really need him. You shot him a grin and pushed yourself to your feet. Slowly, Cove stood up with you, still looking a little reluctant. His dad's voice rang out again. Cove, can you hear me? He looked toward the sound of his dad's voice, silent, then turned away while rubbing his not-bandaged arm. Sorry, I still don't want to go. I'll wait with him. It's not like we're going anywhere. Yeah, I get it. You do? Before you could answer, you heard Cove's dad, even closer than before. There you are, bud! The trio of parents appeared over the curve of the hill. Instantly, all their eyes landed on you, and they rushed over. Both of your moms were at your side in a split second, faces filled with worry. Rukari, you're here after all. We've been at the park to check for Cove, and then we heard what happened earlier when you met the new neighbor. I thought you might have gone off further away. We're okay, don't worry. Thank God you're both fine. Were you two having fun out here? You looked over at Cove, who was wiggling against his dad's tight hug and pushing at his arms. Yeah, I like him. You nodded, smiling slightly. Finally letting go of his squirming, scowling son, Cove's dad turned to the three of you. Thanks very much for finding him. I really don't know this neighborhood. Good thing Ricari knows the whole area so well. Absolutely. We should be getting home now. It's been a long day for all of us. Say goodbye, Cove. Bye. The two of them walked off into the darkness, heading toward the neighborhood. You watched Cove's bright pink cast until it disappeared. Tell you what, we'll have a proper playdate tomorrow, okay? Your new friend's dad wanted to bring him by to see you and Lizzie. How does that sound? You nodded, ducking your head down. Both of your moms laughed, the sounds overlapping into a warm, familiar chorus. Mommy put her arm around your shoulders and led you towards the path. Satisfied and more than a little ready to go to bed after your long, exciting day, you followed them home. Alrighty. Now I get to choose my feelings for Cove. This is how I feel towards Cove for this stuff, and it can change later. I like to think I'm not indifferent, but I do think I'm fond of him. But just a tiny bit nervous. Like I wanna get to know him, I wanna help him, but I'm not 100% sure how. I am gonna go ahead and save this game here, and I'm gonna call it for the first episode. Like I said, this game is free on Steam, and as you can see, especially for the month of June, it is a very LGBTQ+ friendly game. I mean, I've got two beautiful moms. And yeah, I'm gonna keep playing it through the month of June, and maybe even a little bit longer if people like it. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and sign off for the night, and I will see you in the next one. As always, if you like this video, feel free to leave a like. And if you really enjoyed what you see, go ahead and subscribe. I make videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday, and for the month of June, we're also gonna be throwing Friday into the mix to get this little extra series out in between the other ones I've got going. Alrighty, see you guys later. Goodbye!